Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United finally appoint a director of football in. It says here in Sky Sports that Man United have appointed John Murtough in the new role of football director, while former midfielder Darren Fletcher has been promoted to technical director. We'll just go further down. The Premier League club has announced the two new roles which will further strengthen the club's football operations after years of speculation over the absence of a director of football at Old Trafford. Murtough has been at Manchester United for 7 years, most recently occupying the role ahead of football development. In his new position, he will work alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to align recruitment and other strategies, as well as create the structures, processes and culture deliver sustained success on the pitch, according to a club statement. So this is very, very good news from a Manchester United perspective. I did say, didn't I, we need a director of football, and it's good because John Murtough, knows the culture of the club, and now we've got a director of football. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will get more backing, and he'll probably get the players that he wants to recommend in. But we'd been searching for a director of football for a while. There was quite a few names that were linked with the director's role. Now, I'm going to give you my predictions for our game against AC Milan in the last 16 of the Europa League first leg at Old Trafford. So score prediction, I'm going to go with 2-0 to Manchester United, and the goal scorers, I'm going to go with Anthony Martial and Bruno Fernandes. This is the first encounter between Man United and AC Milan for 11 years. We've played AC Milan on 10 occasions. There's been 5 wins apiece. The last time AC Milan beat us at Old Trafford was back in the 2004-05 season. We played them in the Champions League last 16 back in the 2009-10 season. We beaten them. It was 7-2 on aggregate. We're beating them at Old Trafford 4-0, and we're beating them 3-2 at the San Siro. We progressed to the last 16 of the Europa League by beating Real Sociedad in the previous round 4-0, and AC Milan, they progressed to the last 16 by beating Red Star in the previous round. But AC Milan are a good team. They've won the Champions League 7 times. They are second in Serie A. They recently beat Verona 2-0. AC Milan's current manager is Stefano Pioli. He's been AC Milan manager since October 2019. AC Milan have got Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's a former Manchester United player. It was good, Ibrahimovic, when we had him. Obviously, he had a bad injury for us, so that's what ruined his Man United career. He's actually been out with injury recently at AC Milan, but Stefano Pioli is hopeful that Ibrahimovic will be available for this game. It'll be good to see him reunite with Man United. They've also got Ben Asa. He's actually been out with injury. They've got Hakan Çalhanoğlu. He's another player that's been out with injury. You know, we've inquired about his availability before. They've got Rebic. He's been out with injury. Theo Hernandez. He recently sustained an injury. They've got Tonali. Donnarumma. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. We're actually looking at Donnarumma as a possible replacement for De Gea in the summer, because it says now we are in search for a new goalkeeper. Diego Dalot, you know, he plays for AC Milan. He's on loan from us. And I think he can play in this game against us. The Europa League is a priority for Man United because it is a chance of us getting some silverware on the board. Now, obviously, we got to the Europa League semi-finals last season. We lost 2-1 to Sevilla. And we won the Europa League back in 2017 under Jose Mourinho. We beat Ajax in the final 2-0. We're coming into this game with a lot of confidence. We recently had a very, very good win against Man City. We're beating them 2-0. It wasn't only a good result, it was a very good performance by Manchester United. The goals came from Bruno Fernandes. He scored from the penalty spot. And Luke Shaw scored. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. You know, we ended Man City's 21-match winning run, and we are unbeaten in 22 Premier League away games. But Solskjaer admitted after the game, we are still too far behind Man City to be in the title race. Earlier on this season, you know, Solskjaer said a few times that, you know, we are still in the title race. But he actually said after our 3-3 draw with Everton, we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. You know, we have dropped too many points. You know, that's why we're not in the title race. But top 4 is our aim in the league, and I can almost assure we will finish in the top 4. Now, Marcus Rashford, he sustained an ankle injury against Man City. He's had the scan on his ankle. And it's not as severe as we first thought. There's no ligament damage on his ankle. It's just bruised and swollen. But Sky Sports recently said that Rashford's still a doubt for this game against AC Milan. Now, Edison Cavani, he didn't play any part against Man City. I think Cavani has been out with injury. Could be available though for this game. Edison Cavani actually missed 4 games in a row due to a muscle injury. Now, I'll give you the news on Edison Cavani earlier on today. Edison Cavani's father says that Edison Cavani is unhappy at the club. And his father said that he's not comfortable in England and he wants to leave. Now, reports in Argentina recently said that Edison Cavani has decided to leave Man United after just a season. He's rejected a contract extension and apparently he wants to join Boca Juniors on a 3-year contract and he's willing to take a pay cut. But Edison Cavani's also come out and said that he's proud to wear the Man United shirt. Earlier on this season, it actually said Cavani wants to stay at Man United beyond this season, and Solskjaer said he's set for contract extension talks. We got Cavani on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. But his hold-up play is good. He can score good goals. He can also create chances, and his movement in and out of the box is good. Paul Pogba, he's a doubt for this game against AC Milan. Pogba is out with a thigh injury at the moment. The last game Paul Pogba played was the 3-3 draw with Everton. And Paul Pogba has been a big miss because we lack creativity in that midfield without him. We're too defensive without Paul Pogba. Now, not so long ago, Solskjaer set a new Paul Pogba return date, and Solskjaer said he's hopeful that he will return before the March international break. Earlier on this season, Pogba had an ankle injury and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries now at Man United. Now, he has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him and his former club Juventus have been in for him. Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. Said a few weeks ago we revealed our asking price and it was £100 million. If we sell Pogba in the summer, I'm very sceptical we'll get £100 million. We could get from between 60 to 70 million. But the other week there was narratives coming out saying that Pogba is open to staying at Man United. After making a transfer U-turn, and he's willing to discuss a new contract. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer suggested Pogba could sign a new contract. And Solskjaer said that he's happy at the club and we have held talks with Paul Pogba over his future. Mino Raiola said earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season at Man United. He also made an admission saying that he's working on Paul Pogba's transfer quietly to avoid offence. You know, Mino Raiola's been criticised quite a lot of times and he doesn't have a good relationship with Man United. He made an announcement back in December of last year regarding Pogba and Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Donny van der Beek, he's actually out with injury. I think is he a doubt for this game? Donny van der Beek has played nowhere near as much as I expected anyway. You know, most of Donny van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench when he's played. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. Solskjaer needs to use him more when he's available. You know, earlier on this season, Solskjaer made an admission regarding Donny van der Beek. He said he is unhappy at the club because of his lack of game time. But he actually promised him more game time at Man United. We got Van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front and there was £5 million in add-ons and he can play in 3 different roles. ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. Obviously Mata is not available. He doesn't get in the team anyway, Juan Mata. Phil Jones, he's obviously still out. He doesn't get in the team either. He's been out of injury for over a year. De Gea is obviously not available at the moment due to personal reasons. But I think in this game against Milan, Solskjaer will make some changes from the 2-0 win against Man City. We do play West Ham at the weekend in the league. That will be a tough game because West Ham are doing really, really well this season. They're exceeding expectations. Just to be honest with you, no one expected West Ham to be in the position that they're in. You know, they're in the top 4 race. After West Ham, we do play AC Milan in the second leg. That's on the 18th of March. And then we do play Leicester in the FA Cup. So games are coming up thick and fast for Manchester United. Despite the win against Man City recently, I still don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a long-term manager for Man United. I hope I'm proven wrong though. I think Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at the club. I've already said that Solskjaer's got to win a trophy at Man United to avoid the sack. He hasn't won a trophy yet as Man United manager, and he's been Man United manager over 2 years, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. A club of our stature needs to be winning trophies. But yeah, there's been a lot of Man United fans that have been demanding Ole out. He's been criticised a lot. Obviously, there's explanations why he's being criticised. But yeah, we have endured very bad periods under him where you can turn around and say, yeah, Solskjaer was lucky not to be sacked. But our board have got a soft stance on Solskjaer with him being a club legend. You know, disregarding him being a club legend, I think the board would be a lot more ruthless on him. I don't think he'd have been Man United manager now if, you know, he wasn't a club legend. The board are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anyway, because Woodward recently made a statement saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Our financial figures had been revealed recently. Our net debt had risen up to 455.5 million. So yeah, Solskjaer's here to stay. Man United are set to hand him a new 3-year contract. It said earlier on this season that Solskjaer's future was in doubt because he admitted that nobody had spoke to him regarding a new contract. But it actually said we'll wait until the end of the season to begin negotiations over a new contract for Ole. You know, Solskjaer's into the final 18 months of his current contract. But yeah, I think now we've got this director of football in, I think there's a great chance now Solskjaer get the players that he wants in the summer because, you know, Solskjaer hasn't been backed enough so far. We know that. You know, he's endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. Yeah, he has made good signings. You know, he's spent, 260 million. But hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in as yet. But this year's summer transfer window is the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career. You know, Solskjaer sent a transfer warning to Man United fans not so long ago, and he said, we won't be very active in the summer transfer window due to the coronavirus pandemic. And he did say that he's only interested in bringing in players that would be a perfect fit for the club. A new centre-back and a new forward are the 2 priorities. And obviously, you know the news on Erling Haaland from Dortmund. You know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign him. I think he's our number 1 target. Yeah. We're looking to replace him with Cavani, aren't we? Because there's a good chance Cavani's going to leave in the summer. Jadon Sancho, do you still think there's a chance he'll come in? There's been narratives coming out regarding Rafael Varane saying that, you know, Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane to Man United in the summer. You know, Jules Koundé from Sevilla, he's been on our agenda. There were stories coming out recently regarding Rafinha, saying that we're interested in him. It was stemming from the Brazilian outlet UOL, saying that we've made an approach to sign Rafinha. Liverpool have also been interested. So yeah, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. Like I said, players are going to leave Man United in the summer. You know, if we sell players, we'll generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. Now, like I said, there's a good chance that Juan Mata will leave in the summer because Juan Mata's current contract expires in the summer. But there is an options trigger his contract for a further year. Solskjaer said prior to the game against Real Sociedad that he's not surprised that Juan Mata's linked to a move away from the club. I heard that 3 Italian clubs were interested in him. Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club over 6 years. Earlier on this season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. We got Juan Mata in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Doesn't get in the team now, like I mentioned earlier. But he's done well in the games he's been involved in, and Juan Mata has now lost that yard of pace. You know, Cavani, good chance he'll leave in the summer. Anthony Martial, now, I've been demanding him out of the club, haven't I? And so too quite a lot of Man United fans, because he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season as Martial. But Martial put a very, very good performance out against Man City. You know, he had 2 fantastic chances in that game. Should have converted at least one of them. But if them performances can persist, I'll change my perception on Martial and say, no, don't sell him in the summer. Keep him potentially past the summer. He's still young, Martial. He's got a lot of development in him. He's, 24, is he? You know, Solskjaer's been impressed with his work rate and he actually backed him to rediscover his form, did Ole. You know, Martial was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at the club now over 5 years. It was last season, I think, Solskjaer gave Martial that number 9 shirt. If we did sell him in the summer, I think we'd get around £30 million. He's just come back from injury as well, don't forget. Was it a knee injury he had? Jones, I want him to leave this year because Phil Jones doesn't get in our team. I'm surprised he didn't leave in January, but Solskjaer said he's going to be given a second chance at the club. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Sergio Romero, I'm expecting him to leave because he's now our 3rd choice goalkeeper. Matic, I think we could also offload him in the summer because Matic isn't one of our 1st choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances and he can play well. But I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player. Matic has been at the club now almost 4 years. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Lindelof, do you think we should sell him in the summer? Because I've always had my strong reservations about Lindelof, and I don't think Lindelof and Maguire complement each other in our back line. I certainly prefer Bay to Lindelof. But Lindelof put a very good performance out against City, and then if them performances can persist, then I'll change my reception on Lindelof. So I'm saying the exact same thing of what I just said regarding Martial not so long ago. We know we got Lindelof in a deal worth £31 million from Benfica, was it back in 2017? And as you all know, we are willing to listen to offers for David De Gea. He says we could sell him in the summer so we can make Dean Henderson our 1st choice goalkeeper. Now, The Sun recently said that PSG are interested in De Gea. Pochettino's looking for a number 1 goalkeeper to replace Keylor Navas. De Gea has got 2 years left on his contract at Man United. And he's on £375,000 a week, which is a substantial amount. We sell De Gea in the summer. I think we can get from between 50 to 60 million. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer warned De Gea that his number 1 jersey is under threat. De Gea's been a long servant at the football club. You know, he's been at the club now, is it 10 years? He's been at Man United since 2011, so he's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances in all competitions. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world, but in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes, so reflecting on that, he has become a liability. Back in 2015, he was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. Like I said to you today, Man United identify 3 replacements for De Gea. That's Mike Maignan from Lille. We're looking at Donnarumma from AC Milan, and we're looking at Jan Oblak from Atletico Madrid. He does have a £103 million release clause. But I've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in quite a few aspects. You know, we've enjoyed good periods under him. You know, in some games where we've got the best out of the team, and we've seen consistency. He's improved certain players. You know, in some games as well, Solskjaer shows tactical flexibility, you know, like he did in the game against City. I loved the way Solskjaer approached the game against City. I didn't expect him to approach the game like that, to be honest with you. Solskjaer's just got to show tactical flexibility persistently. That's all he's got to do. Because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive. You know, we've got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. You know, Solskjaer's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals, got us to the Europa League last 16. You know, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost 2-0 to City. You know, did well last season, his first full season. We went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season, don't forget. Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. A few players left the club in the January transfer window. We saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. Tiedemann Mengi went out on loan. Facundo Palestri went out on loan. Odi Nigalo said his farewells to the club. Marcus Rojo left the club, and Timothy Fosu-Mensah left the club. And we are second in the Premier League. And no one expected us to be there, we know, of how poor we was at the first part of this season. But reflecting how long Solskjaer's been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience and he has learnt quite a bit on the job. You know, if it doesn't work out under Solskjaer, you know, we'll still always adore Solskjaer because he is a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. You know, we appointed Ole in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho. A lot of United fans did say, though, we give Solskjaer the job too soon. You know, maybe we should have waited until the end of that season to decide or not whether to give him the job. But he did well as interim manager, so that's why we're giving the job permanently 2 years ago. Don't forget Pochettino was the favourite to take over at Man United at one point. I think we have made mistakes since Ferguson retired, and that's why we haven't been so consistent for so long. You know, we've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was David Moyes, sacked him after 10 months, sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. We've brought a lot of players in as well since Ferguson left. Must have brought around 37 players in. You know, under Moyes, we brought 2 players in, Fellaini and Mata. You know, under Van Gaal, we must have brought a good 15, 16 players in. A lot of the players Louis van Gaal brought in a lot are no longer at the club now. There's still a few players here, I think, from Louis van Gaal era. You know, Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the club, and Solskjaer's got rid of quite a few of Mourinho's players, but there's still quite a few players here from the Jose Mourinho era. We spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson retired. On my next video, I will be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of this game. So what do you reckon to news on Director of Football? Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.